जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, यशोदनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन, यमुना तीरावनचारी, यमुना तीरावनचारी, जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी, जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपाद Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, गौर ब्रह्मानंदे। Hare Krishna. Today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 17th chapter, text 6 to 11. 6 to 10 I will read myself, there is no purport, and 11 we will read together. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Narancheva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraet Naṣṭa-bhāgaṇe Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyo Tamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. 3:17:6 uddhasat-taḍid-ambhoda ghaṭayā naṣṭa-bhāgaṇe vyomni praviṣṭa-tamasā naṣṭa-bhāgaṇe padam. Translation by Prabhupada. The luminaries in the heavens were screened by masses of clouds, in which lightning sometimes flashed as though laughing. Darkness reigned everywhere and nothing could be seen. Text 7. Cukrośa vimanā vārdhir udūrmiḥ śuṣka-paṅkajāḥ sodapānāś saritaś cukṣubhuḥ śuṣka-paṅkajāḥ. The ocean with its high waves wailed aloud as if stricken with sorrow, and there was a commotion among the creatures inhabiting the ocean. The rivers and lakes were also agitated, and lotuses withered. Text 8. Moho paridhyo abhuman sarabho shashi-suryayo nirghata ratha nirhada vivarebhya prajagire. Misty halos appeared around the sun and the moon during solar and lunar eclipses again and again. Claps of thunder were heard even without clouds, and sounds like those of rattling chariots emerged from the mountain caves. Text 9. Antargrameshu mukhato bamanto bhanim ulvanam shrigalo uluka tankarai pranedur ashivam shiva. In the interior of the villages, she-jackals yelled portionlessly, vomiting strong fire from their mouths, and jackals and owls also joined them with their cries. Text 10. Swangitavat rodanavad unmamaya shirodharam vyamunchan vividha vacho grama singhas tatastataha. Raising their necks, dogs cried here and there, now in the manner of singing and now of wailing. Text 11 is written on board. Please repeat. Kharaha cha karkashai शत्तः खूरै घ्नन्तः धरातलं खाकारा रभासा मत्तः पर्यध्यावन् बरूस्थशः खरस्य कर्कशैः शत्तः खूरैर्घ्नन्तो धरातलम् खार्काररभसा मत्ता पर्यध्यावन् बरूथसा खरस्य कर्कशैः शत्तः खूरैर्घ्नन्तधरातलम् खार्काररभसा मत्ता पर्यध्यावन् बरूथशः खरस्य कर्कशैः शत्तः खूरैर्घ्नन्तो धरातलम् खार्काररभसा मत्ता पर्यध्यावं बरूथसः. Please. Mataji's. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Kharaha, ashes, cha, and, karkashai, hard, shattaha, O Vidura, Khurai, with their hooves, Gnantaha, striking, Dharatalam, the surface of the earth, Khakara, braying, Rabhasa, wildly engaged in, Mattaha, mad, Pariyadhavan, ran hither and thither, Barudhashaha, in herd. Translation: O Vidura, the ashes ran hither and thither in herds, striking the earth with their hard hooves and wildly braying. Please repeat after me. O Vidura, the ashes ran hither and thither in herds, striking the earth with their hard hooves and wildly braying. Purport, ashes also feel very respectable as a race. And when they run in flocks, hither and thither in so-called jollity, it is understood to be a bad sign for human society. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhishya Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this section of Srimad Bhagavatam on 17th chapter of 3rd canto is describing the birth of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. On the birth of two demons, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, there were many natural disturbances, and everyone became fearful, including the demigods of heavenly planets, and all the inauspicious signs appeared on the sky. So from 6th till 11th verse, many inauspicious signs which were visible are described here. We have similar descriptions in Srimad Bhagavatam, many places, like in Duryodhan, he was about to take birth. All these inauspicious signs appeared on the sky. And at that time, Vidura told Dhritarashtra that, see, with all these inauspicious signs, you can well understand this son of you is going to be Kulangar. Kulanga means, who is going to destroy your whole dynasty. So therefore, you should immediately kill him. But which father can kill his own son? Because of Dhritarashtra's attachment, he could not kill. But later on, Vidur reminded him, see, I told you. Because of Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra lost his 100 sons. So later on, Vidura told, see, I told you at the time of his birth, you should have killed him. So inauspicious signs, sometimes appears in the sky to show us that, something, wrong is going to happen. Just like, Chanakya, he says, when a single tree in the forest, and you set a flame, that can destroy whole forest, Dabagni. Similarly, rascal's son can destroy the whole family, whole dynasty, in fact. We have another description in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In Yodus, Krishna's family members, they were fighting with each other. At that time also, all these inauspicious signs appeared on the sky. So Lord Krishna addressed all the Yadu dynasty, all the Yadu people, his family members. And Lord Krishna, he says, Muhurtam api nastheyam. My dear family members, since all these inauspicious signs appeared, Muhurtam api nastheyam. You should not stay in this place for a moment. You should immediately leave Dwaraka. So when inauspicious signs appears, still in the villages, people, they go inside the door. We have even in first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when Narad Muni was indicating Lord Krishna's disappearance. The plan, Lord Krishna was planning to disappear from this world. Yudhishthira Maharaj could see all the inauspicious signs, on the sky. So here is actually in detail so many inauspicious signs, because two demons are appearing, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So, but nowadays you can see inauspicious signs everywhere. Prabhupada says because of Kali Yuga. But here we are sitting in Shridham Mayapur. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on an inauspicious day. That is on the day of eclipse, Chandra Grahan. Actually here also in 9th verse. which, yeah, 8th verse is saying sun and moon during solar and lunar eclipse again and again. And these two demons were, taking birth, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, people could see lunar eclipses again and again. So these are inauspicious signs. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he selected the day of lunar eclipse. So Lord Krishna appeared on a very auspicious day, Ashtami. Lord Ramachandra appeared Navami. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on the day of Grahan, which is not considered to be very auspicious. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared? There are many descriptions. One is because on the day of eclipse, in the villages still, in the remote villages of India, people chant the holy name of Lord. Ram, Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. People chant. We have seen in our childhood, whenever eclipse comes, they close the door and they chant the holy name of the Lord. So, in Mayapur 500 years back, during the Grahan, everyone were chanting the holy name of the Lord. And exactly on that moment, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by appearing on the day of eclipse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was telling that, my purpose of appearance in this world is to make people chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But there is actually another description comes, I think, in Chaitanya Bhagavat. It says, this section is describing this eclipse of sun and moon. So the eclipse happens because, from Srimad Bhagavatam we know, because of Samudra Manthan Leela. This Rahu and Ketu. When Mohini, the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, were distributing nectar, which appeared from Samudra Manthan. She was distributing, that time, in the line of demigods, two demons. They changed their form. They were secretly standing on the line of demigods, Rahu and Ketu. But mistakenly they stood up in between sun god and moon god. So other demigods are okay, but sun and moon, we can't hide anything from sun and moon. Yat chakshur esha sabita sakala grahanam. Brahma Samhita says, Krishna considers sun is one of his eyes. So Krishna is watching all of us, everything in this material world through his eyes, that is sun. So we can't hide anything from sun. Similarly, someone may say that I can, do some nonsense activities, sinful activities during night because there is no sun. Then Krishna says moon is another Maya. So we can't hide anything from Krishna. So these Rahu, Ketu stood in between moon and sun. So they told Mohini, actually they are not demigods, they are demons. So they are about to drink, sip the nectar. At that time Mohini, cut with the Sudarshan Chakra. So they say Rahu and Ketu, they could not, drink full nectar. That's why, after some time they attack sun and moon. Because of both of them, they could not drink nectar. That is called Grahan, eclipse. But now, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's first time, why there were eclipse during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance? It says, there is a description, it says, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also like moon. We sing Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Badana Ujjal. There is only one moon on the sky, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's beauty is like a combination of millions of moons. So he says, the moon is most beautiful object we can see in this material world with our mundane eyes. But moon also has problem. This black spot is called kalank. So there is a description. It says, kalank gora chand dilo darshan. That today Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us darshan. He is appearing who is akalank, without any spot. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is one moon, but without any spot, spotless. But there is another moon in the sky which has spot. So the moon god, on the appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, moon god was thinking, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is multitudes of millions of moons, is appearing in Mayapur, then what is the use of myself? So sa kalanka chandramar kiva prayojan. There is no need of this moon which has spot. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a spotless moon. So therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on in inauspicious moment, whereas Krishna appeared very in an auspicious moment. Like Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a description when Lord Krishna was appearing. It says, at that time in all directions, east, west, south, north, everywhere, there was an atmosphere of peace and prosperity. There were auspicious stars visible in the sky. And on the surface, in all towns and villages and pasturing grounds, and within the minds of everyone, there were signs of good fortune. So when demons or demonic people appears, all the inauspicious signs, appears on the sky, whereas Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotees, great devotees, they take birth, all the auspicious signs appears in the sky. But nowadays, see, people, they ignore all these inauspicious signs. They call these all are superstitions, is not it? Even in India also people believe all these superstitions. But actually these are not superstitions. These are actually signals from the Mother Earth, from the nature. Prabhupada says during Yudhishthira Maharaj's time, everything, all the times, 6 seasons were visible, and everyone was peaceful, and Mother Nature was supporting Yudhishthira Maharaj because he was a great devotee. And during even rainy season, like we are going with a tour with a group of Hyderabad devotees, but we can't go out because of rain. So Prabhupada says during Yudhishthira Maharaj's time, there were rain only during the nights, so that people can work during the day. Because Yudhishthira was such a powerful king. So the king or the head of the state, head of the country is pious, religious or great devotee of Lord. The nature or demigods will help. Just like, Prabhupada traveling by Jaladuta, the captain of the ship says, I never seen such a calm and peaceful Atlantic. Because demigods were helping Srila Prabhupada's journey. So demigods will also help, and they will disappear all the inauspicious signs if we become devotee, if we practice Krishna consciousness. Like, here in 9th verse, is saying that during their birth, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu says that, Antargrameshu Mukhatu. In the Antargrameshu means in the interior of the villages, Bamanto Bhanim Ulvanam. Ulva means Ullu. Ullu means owls. And Shrigala Uluko Tankarai. Shrigal means, jackals. And especially here, Prabhupada translates she-jackals. So when Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha both were taking birth at that time, in the interior of the villages, she-jackals, they were making sounds, and owls also joined them. Such a beautiful sight. And owls and she-jackals, everyone, they were crying. In fact, he says they were crying, Pranedur Ashvibam Shivaha. Everyone, they were crying. Even I remember during our childhood, when she-jackals in the villages in India, she-jackals, they start roaring, they are making sound, they are crying. Or even these dogs, next verse is saying, even dogs were crying. So dogs started crying, or foxes, all the villages, they would close their door. They will call all the children, you come inside the home. Many of you have seen those who were born in villages. People knew at that time these are inauspicious times. Something is wrong going to happen in our society, in our village. And exactly that would happen. Someone would die or someone would make accident. Even our elderly people, I saw my grandmother, grandfather, they could easily detect something wrong is going to happen. So because these are the signs, symptoms, So exactly same here saying, the she-jackals, owls and these dogs, they are crying. And some people, the elderly people, the strong people, they would, with a stick, they would chase them out of the village. Because they say, in our village, you should not make this type of inauspicious symptoms. But nowadays, people are ignoring all the symptoms. And Mother Nature is indirectly sometimes giving us, these signals so that we remain careful. Like owl, I remember in our childhood, owls, they generally don't come out during the day. They come only during the night. So once I remember in our neighboring village, one owl came out during the day. Everyone, like they are going for Mahotsav to see the owl. Everyone in line after line. So they saw that owl is sitting with big eyes. But people understood, he is actually inauspicious. And there is one auspicious owl also, it's called Lakshmi Pecha. means the carrier of Lakshmi. So carrier of Lakshmi is also owl, but in we call in Hindi ullu. So if you cheat someone, it's called an ullu banadi. So if we don't worship Narayan, if you worship only Lakshmi, Lakshmi will cheat us. She will make us ullu, isn't it? So Lakshmi is telling, my career is owl, but is controlled by Narayan. Wherever Narayan is, I will go with owl. So I remember that time this owl, because they don't come out generally during daytimes. There is one nice description in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says, "Ulu ke na dekhe yeche surya kiran." It says, "Dekhiyao na dekhe yata abhak tiragan. Ulu ke na dekhe yeche surya kiran." That the non-devotees, even after seeing the extraordinary activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead, so many wonderful first times, yet they don't recognize Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rama as Supreme Lord. So the example is given just like owl. Owl, they don't come out during the day. Now if they don't come out during the day, they will be deprived from sunlight. So who will be the loser, owl or sun? If you don't come out during the day, who will be loser, you or sun? You will be deprived from sun's blessings, is not it? So that's why he's saying, the non-devotees, they by seeing Krishna's potency, Krishna's extraordinary activities, they don't recognize. Just like these Kauravas, they saw Krishna from childhood. There is a first time, it says once, Krishna told his minister Uddhav, that Uddhav, today I am going to meet a very important, very VIP person. So you get my chariot ready, I will come and I will go to meet him. So Uddhav was ready with chariot and he was waiting outside of Krishna's room. And Krishna was not coming out. And Uddhav was worried, why Lord Krishna is taking so much time? So he saw through the window, Lord Krishna is decorating himself very gorgeously. So he was thinking 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours gone, still Lord Krishna is changing his turban, his dhoti, his uttari. And Uddhav could not tolerate it. He went inside. He says, my dear Lord, whom are you going to meet today? Seems to be a very important person that you are decorating yourself for so many hours. And Lord Krishna says, I am going to meet Duryodhan. And Uddhav says, no, my dear Lord, you are going to meet this rascal Duryodhan and you are decorating yourself. Then Lord Krishna says, see, my devotees, my unalloyed devotees, they can recognize me without any aristocratic dress. As a Gwala also, as a cowherd, they can recognize me. But this rascal Duryodhan, he will not recognize me. So I have to show him extra power, extra dresses. So that's why it says, Uluke na dekhe yoiche surya kiran. The owl, they can see if they come out during the day, but they will not come out. So the non-devotees, Prabhupada says, so-called scientists, so-called philosophers, if they want, they can learn about Krishna, but they will not. So that is their failure. So that's why it's saying these all are inauspicious signs. She jackals, dogs, and jackals. If they cries, if they make sounds, Now you got to know from Srimad Bhagavatam. Now jackals you can't see in the city, but dogs sometimes you can see. They are crying. They are crying. Prabhupada says dogs, they are barking, they are making noises, they are crying. Why? Because previous life they are the owner of that house. Prabhupada says, previous birth they were owning something. Now next birth, because of their attachment, they born as a dog. Now if someone goes close to their house, they will bark. No, you can't come close to my house. So these all are inauspicious. Bhagavatam says we should immediately, throw them away. But in today's verse, it says another inauspicious symptom is this kharasya karkashai shattaha. Khara means ashes, donkeys. And khuroir gnanta dharatalam. Dharatal means, the earth surface. These ashes, when Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were taking birth, at that time ashes, what they are doing, karkashi. Karkashi means very bad, very hard and rough sound they were making, the donkeys. and khuroi, with their hooves, they are striking the surface of the earth, and kharkaro rabhasa mattaha, kharkaro rabhasa mattaha, they are making very loud sounds, and rabhasa matta means they were wildly engaged, all the ashes. Parya dhavam barudhasaha, and they were parya dhavam. Dhavam means they were running hither and thither everywhere. So when you see the ashes of donkeys, they are making this type of activities, that means something inauspicious is going to happen. Of course, nowadays you can't see donkeys also ashes, So, but somewhere they are making. I remember once we were in a Sankirtan party many years back, 15, 20 years back. We were distributing books in bus party, and we were staying in a dharmashala, and a dharmashala facilities, guest houses, and all the Sankirtan devotees, they could not sleep at all, because next to Sankirtan where we were staying, so many donkeys, they were making very bad noises. Still you can see the people, they, when they, in India, when they see someone's voice is very bad, this is like, your sound is like ashes, is not it? But here, see, very interesting, Prabhupada wrote first line in the purport. He says, at that time when Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyakshipu, they are taking birth, ashes also feel very respectable. Can you imagine? Who will respect ash? But Prabhupada says, yes, in Kali Yuga, people are respecting ashes. Prabhupada says democracy is like, selecting or electing ash by a group of ashes. Prabhupada says, So they are respecting ash, So there is one interesting, statement in Hitopadesh. It says, Ustranam opi vibhaeshu geetam gayanti gardhava. It says once there was a wedding ceremony, wedding program of Ustranam. Ustranam means the camels. So wedding between two camels. Ustranam opi vibhaeshu. On the wedding program of Ustra camels, geetam gayanti gardhava. And who were invited to sing? Ashes, donkeys. They were singing. Ustranam opi vibhaeshu geetam gayanti gardhava. So on the marriage program of camels, the ashes were singing. And when they are singing, they are looking each other. And he says, Ustranam opi vibhaeshu geetam gayanti gardhava parasparam prasamshati aho rupam aho dhvani. It says the one ash is looking towards another ash while singing, and they are praising each other. Saying parasparam prasamshati, one ash is praising another one. It says aho rupam, wow, such a beautiful form you have. Aho dhvani, such a beautiful voice you have. So Prabhupada is saying, at that time even the ashes also feel very respectable. No one respects ashes, So that's why, Prabhupada says, the ashes, ash is a symbol of stupidity. Many times Prabhupada says, many example Prabhupada gave, But very, common example Prabhupada used to give is called, in Bengali it's called dhopar gadha. You can check Prabhupada, in Prabhupada lectures many times. Dhopa means a washerman, and gadha means ashes. So early days in villages, in India, the dhopa washerman, they would take all the clothes of king to wash in the river, and they have to, after drying, they would carry everything to the market. So they would put everything on the back of donkeys. But donkeys, they are very lazy, they don't want to walk. So they would put a bunch of grasses or carrot with a stick on the head of donkeys. So donkeys, they would think, I can catch this carrot or grass, and with that greed, they would walk and they would reach city, but they can't eat any grass. So Prabhupada says, these donkeys are so foolish, so stupid, that these donkeys walking from the river village to the city, carrying heavy weight, and they are thinking, without this grass which are hanging on my head, I would not get any food. But he is watching all the goats, cows, bulls, they are eating grass from the earth. So Prabhupada is such a rascal that if you don't work, yet you will get the grass. But he is thinking, if I don't work, I will not get the grass. Prabhupada says, in Kali Yuga, most of the people are like this. We are working so hard day and night from morning till evening, thinking that without work we will not get food. You come to ISKCON temple, unlimited food. You don't have to work, is not it? You know? So when Srila Prabhupada established center in New York, some neighbors, they were complaining. So some initial disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they came to Prabhupada, Swamiji, these people are complaining. What is their complaint? They are complaining, we are riding on a very expensive cars, we are getting nice food, we are dancing, we are not doing any kind of work, we are enjoying like. Prabhupada said, let them join. Who is stopping them? Why they are working like, donkeys day and night? So that's why there are many of our previous acharyas, they wrote many wonderful bhajans, describing this ashes. We should not uselessly work like ashes. Prabhupada says in one of his lectures, the modern world, people working day and night is called ashism. Prabhupada said. Prabhupada says it's called ashism. In Bhagavatam, it says, Swa bid baraha utstra kharoi sanstuta ya purusha pashu na yat karno patho peta jatu nama gadagraja. So Srimad Bhagavatam says there are 4 types of animals. 4 types of animals. Swa means dogs. Bid baraha means hogs, especially village hogs. Swa bid baraha ustra means camel, and khare means donkeys, ashes. So Srimad Bhagavatam Shukadeva Goswami says that Swa bid baraha ustra kharoi samstuta ya purusha pashu. People, those whose mentalities are like these 4 animals, they will never praise the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jatu nama gadagraja. They will never tolerate the phrase of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, in their ears. Now, what is the problem with these 4 animals? The one is, swa means dogs. And here also description, dogs are crying. The problem with dogs is, for little food, dog will, bark, run around your house, day and night. Even if you, beat him, next day dog will come. There are some people, they are working day and night, even your boss is beating you every day, chastising you, next day you will go to office. Isn't it? And then Swa bid baraha, the hogs. The problem with hogs is, if you give them very nice food, sweet rice, malpua, they will not eat. They will not go for stool, urine, all the nonsense food. So some people are there, even if you tell them you can eat prasadam, come to ISKCON temple, they will not eat. They will eat all the nonsense items. Swa bid baraha ustra. And what is the problem with ustra? Camel. Problem is, they also will not eat very good items. They will go to desert, they will eat all the thorns. And they will eat, they will chew it, and the blood will come, blood will mix with their mucus, and they will get the very wonderful taste. But eating, they are drinking their own blood. And the Prabhupada says, for little sense gratification, and bifale sevinu kripana durajana, for little sense gratification, Prabhupada says, people are working day and night. And then, kharoi, swa bid varaha ustra kharoi samstuta ya purusha pushu najat karna pathopeta jatu nama gadagraj. What time for the class? Finish it? Okay, we'll finish now. But here everyone in this material world, also another verse comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, yasyatma buddhi kunape tridhaduke swadhi kalatradishu bhoma ijjadi. So those who are worshipping their birth land, and those who are considering body as the own self, they are not better than the ashes. Srimad Bhagavatam says, So everyone in this material world, we are actually trying to become ass, better ass. Who can become better donkey in this material world? That competition is going on. But I'll just conclude with one thing. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, Krishna's first time, Balaram killed 2-3 demons. Otherwise, all other demons sent by Kamsa were killed by Krishna. Balaram killed only 2-3 demons. Which demons Balaram killed? Pralambasur and Dhenukasur. The first demon Balaram killed, Dhenukasur. See, now Dhenukasur is actually ass demon. Dhenukasur was ass, in the form of ass. So Dhenukasur was very powerful demon, and he had assumed the form of an ass. And with the help of other demon friends, this Dhenukasur occupied Talavan in Vrindavan. And no one dared to enter into Talavan before Balram and Krishna. Even they are elderly people, never they entered, because that was occupied by this Dhenukasur and under the instruction of Kamsa. So now Balaram, he induced by his cowherd friend, one day when they were herding cows, they felt very hungry. So Balaram said, let's go inside the Talavan. They said, no, no one could ever went inside. So Balaram said, let's go, and Balaram went, and he began shaking the trees. Balaram, Talavan, you saw in the videos. Huh? And that time this demon came, and this Dhenukasur, he was furious, attacked Balaram with his demon friends. And Balaram is Balaram, is Namaste Balina Shrishta. Who can beat Balaram in power? Very powerful Balaram. So then Balaram easily picked him up by his legs, and then he whirled him around until this demon Dhenukasur died. So then Krishna Balaram with their friend, they released the Talavan, Tala fruits. Tal fruits, and you can see here in Bengal also, it's tal, big tal fruits. So now why we are discussing this, this demon, this donkey-like mentality everyone carrying in this material world. Useless labor, working hard, uselessly, without any purpose in this material world. That it. So that mentality can be destroyed only by the mercy of Balaram. Balaram means Guru. By the mercy of Guru only is possible. Otherwise, everyone have this mentality, working hard like ass and donkey. So when Balaram went, this Dhenukasur ass demon said, see, this is the forest of Kamsa. You can't enter. He was praising Kamsa, but Balaram is indirectly, by killing this demon, Balaram is saying that for little. What he was getting? He was getting what? Dhenukasur, why he was taking care of the forest? Why? Because he was getting some intoxication. Kamsa was taking all the liquors coming from Tala tree, but he was giving a little bit to Dhenukasur. So Balaram, our Acharya says that Balaram, Lord Balaram is teaching us through this demon that for little pleasure, we are serving the people of this material world. But Balaram is telling us, if you serve Krishna, instead of giving to Kamsa-like people, you give tal to Krishna and Krishna's friend, then you will not get intoxication on liquor, you will get nectar from Krishna. So you better serve Krishna, not any demonic people life. So Balaram is telling that you will get transcendental melody, transcendental nectar by serving Krishna. So ass mentality means serving the demonic people, serving the people who are not connected to Krishna. But Balaram is telling that you can serve Krishna, and by serving Krishna you will get transcendental nectar. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna. Any comments or question, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
This may be a very nice class, Prabhu. This may be a very unusual question, but why does Krishna arrange for all these inauspicious signs? What's the purpose behind it? How does it benefit his jivas?
During the birth of this Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyakshi you are talking about? No, always. In general you are asking?
In general, yeah.
That's indicating something wrong is going to happen.
How is that beneficial?
How is that?
Beneficial.
How is it beneficial for human being?
Why does Krishna do it? Yeah.
Okay. So that they can take proper steps. For example, we explained Vidura told Dhritarashtra by seeing all the inauspicious signs that he should have immediately kill his own son, because with that symptom he could understand he is going to do lot of harm in the future. So people can take proper steps, like this eclipse also comes, that is not also auspicious. so that we can become careful, we can take proper step, So inauspicious, of course, auspicious signs also come sometime, like we described that when Krishna was appearing, auspicious signs appeared, That's showing something good is going to happen, so that people can appreciate that. So when Krishna appeared, whole chapter were describing auspicious signs of the nature, so that people can understand Krishna is not ordinary people like us. Similarly, when great personality appears, like Ramanujarya and many other acharyas came, that time also auspicious signs came. Even it says, when Prabhupada was taking birth, and in Calcutta, they could see something good, positive symbols, so that people can appreciate him from childhood. We have the description of Rishabdev, Maharaj Nabhi. When Rishabdev was taking birth, that time so many auspicious signs came. And they kept the name of Rishab as Rishab. Rishab means best amongst the human being. Because by birth they could understand this person is going to do something extraordinary. And also, astrologically, the astrological people, they know this thing very better, because the sun and moon, all these things going on, this graha and everything, planets, it works like when some powerful personality comes, at the same time some demonic personality comes, they react. The nature, Mother Nature reacts accordingly. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is that can we really identify inauspicious signs now? Because every now and then we see something inauspicious only going on in this age. Is it possible for us to identify?
Yeah, all these inauspicious signs very much available still, you can see, Like those who believe, they can see all the inauspicious signs. Those who don't believe, maybe scientists, they will do research, why these are coming, But those who believe, like this untimely rain nowadays, even we saw last year we are having a program in December, suddenly rain came. So that is inauspicious. In winter time when rain comes, never comes, Some places you can see severe droughts, no water, no rain for many, many years. Like Prabhupada was in Hyderabad, no rains for many years. And when Prabhupada told Tamal Krishna Maharaj to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, at that time rain started, So all these symptoms, yes, you can easily see all these many symptoms. You can see, especially jackals, you can see everywhere. In villages still you can see jackals are crying, dogs are crying many places.
So then, Prabhuji, for example, in Mayapur also, those who are living here, we all the time hear jackals crying in the night. It's very common for us.
It's very common, correct.
So
it's village, so it's very common.
What I mean to ask is that all the symptoms are, in one sense, most of the symptoms we see are inauspicious in this age, now we are living in. So how do we know something inauspicious is going to happen? Everything looks inauspicious.
Now, when you talk about Mayapur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared with all these inauspicious signs. And what everyone did, Mayapur 500 years back, they were chanting. So in Mayapur is the place of, holy name of the Lord. From here, this holy name started propagating. So we have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We have to take shelter of holy name of the Lord. So for devotees, they should see, my understanding, they should see this way. These inauspicious signs, signals, Lord is showing us, so that I can become more sincere in Krishna consciousness. I can take shelter more sincerely to Lord. And that's why all these inauspicious signs are coming. But we can't, and at the same time, ignore the nature's arrangement, because as I said, the Mother Earth or nature also reacts, because they are also personalities, like when Prithu Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj came to Mayapur, Prithu Kunda is there, Prithu Maharaj came Satya Yuga. Before Prithu Maharaj is father of Bena Maharaj. So he stopped all the sacrifice, and Mother Earth stopped giving any kind of food grains. All the growing were stopped. So they also personality, they also react, but their reaction were not so frequent. When something very serious happens, that time they react, So yes, many things is abode of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but at the same time you can see so many incidents are happening even in our devotee community, I can't tell now, is live class going on, You can hear, so many things are happening in devotee community. Someone is, doing nonsense activities, murdering, killing, so many things are going on. Isn't it? You live in Mayapur, you know. So That's why we should take shelter of the holy name of the Lord. Then inauspicious signs will not affect us. It may affect someone else, or it may be indicating about someone, but it will not. For example, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in this very place, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when Falgu Baba, this Falgu, the false god, who was claiming himself the incarnation of Rama and Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, with his power, potency of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhaktivinoda Thakur destroyed his power. But that time, this Falgu, he was mystic person. He attacked the whole family of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Whole family of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And even Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was reading, Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, Bande Mahapurushate Charanarvindam. These 2-3 verses Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was reading. He was taking shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Rama, Lord Krishna. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wife and other children, they could see the effect of those ghosts and inauspicious items sent by that false god. So they were affected, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur were not affected, because he was continuously reading Srimad Bhagavatam. And with the potency of these 2-3 verses, these Baba, this and Falgu Avatar, he completely destroyed. So it depends on our surrender, the degree of surrender we have to Supreme Lord Srimad Bhagavatam. All these inauspicious signs, ghosts, or nothing will affect us. But at the same time, it can affect also someone. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, you have a question? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, as you told that everyone is working like asses, so will everyone will turn into asses in their next life?
Okay. His question is, everyone at the present time working like ashes. So in next life they are going to be born as ashes?
Yeah.
I mean, if they think about ash during their death, they will definitely born as ashes. So everyone, we are working like ashes, but by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, now we are not working like ashes. So our tendency or consciousness become like ash definitely next life, otherwise not. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shuddha Mayapur ki, Gaur Pramanande.